Indeed, India's Mark Lynn joins us for more on this. Well, Mark, what are the key terms of the US proposal delivered through Oman, and how do they differ from the previous nuclear deal frameworks like the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action?
Well, Lopakshi, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was signed in 2015 when the Obama administration was just about to be in office. And it had the P5 plus Germany and the EU as part of its signatories. According to that deal, Iran was only allowed to enrich up to 3.67% of its uranium. But that continued for about 3 years, that deal. And the Trump administration withdrew from that deal in 2018, saying that Iran was enriching beyond that, and it was not a very fair deal because it didn't seem that Iran was keeping away from enriching up to the level of having a nuclear weapon now. But the point is that if you have to enrich uranium, you have to enrich it up to 90% in order to have a nuclear weapon, and Iran currently is enriching up to about 60%. So currently what is happening is that since April, there is negotiations that have been going on with the United States. Abbas Araghchi used to be the nuclear negotiator in the past for Iran. He's currently the foreign minister, and he's heading these negotiations with the US through Oman. And the Trump administration has not given out the exact details, but according to reports, it's very clear that Trump says that he is wanting to have U.S. administrators or U.S. watchdog, U.S. staff who will be able to come into Iran and check all their nuclear reactors to see whether they are upgrading up to the level of a nuclear weapon. And if they find that kind of information, then the U.S. would be in a position to actually destroy all those nuclear sites.
Right.
That is the kind of deal that the U.S. has put on the table currently. Now, apparently, the Saudis have already asked Iran to accept this kind of a deal. So Iran says that, the U.S. is delusional if it has any understanding that it's going to basically destroy any of their nuclear facilities. Lopakshi.
Right. Mark, given the sharp divide over the uranium enrichment, as you were mentioning, will it be possible for both Iran and the US to find a common ground without compromising their core positions, as Iran insists that its program is peaceful and described the IAEA report as politically motivated?
Yes, indeed. You did refer to the UN report, which is the IAEA report, which has said that they have now reached a level of 60% of uranium enrichment. Iran says that their purpose is basically to have civil nuclear energy for their country, and that they do not require to be importing fuel from elsewhere. If they had the 3.67% uranium enrichment, they would have to basically be importing fuel from outside. But of course, the U.S. sanctions have been strong. What's happened now is that the U.S. has put maximum sanctions on Iran once again. And these maximum sanctions forbid countries from even trading with Iran. I mean, if they do trade, then the U.S. sanctions come on them. And also to prevent Iran from entering into any weapons agreements. Also because, Iran is producing a number of UAVs. So there are a lot of strong restrictions that the U.S. is trying to impose on Iran at the current time. But Israel is of the opinion that Iran is continuing to build a nuclear weapon, and that is part of their national goal. So the U.S. is trying its best to limit that as per their understanding. The other Gulf countries also do not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon because they believe that that would lead to a huge the likelihood of a very strong war between Israel and Iran before that stage arises. And they're trying to stop that with negotiations currently. Currently, of course, the U.S. is pushing a difficult bargain for Iran because there is huge sanctions. The Iran economy is crippling. But currently, Iran is of the opinion that its nuclear program is very much on track.
Right. Mark, thank you so much for all those insights.